What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com, here with a name you know, one of NXT's brightest stars, and she's got an NXT tag team title match at Halloween Havoc, Tuesday, USA Network, every Tuesday on the USA Network at 8 p.m. We got Indy Hartwell. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing wonderful. And when I do these interviews, especially with prominent stars such as yourself, I like to solicit reader questions. And the first one came from a Johnny Gargano who asks you how much you like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I absolutely hate the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Me
I'm
too.
Browns for life.
Oh, I'm a Bengals fan.
Well,
No.
it's Ohio, so it's all right.
Yeah. Oh man. Of course he had to chime in. I mean, I definitely didn't tag him and ask him for a question or anything. Definitely didn't do any of that. But I mean, I don't know how.
He's made me a Browns fan. I didn't even watch football before I met Johnny, and now I'm buying merchandise from their store. So yeah, Browns for life.
Fortunately, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a quarterback with all the mobility of a gargoyle this year. So it's fun to dislike the Pittsburgh Steelers, but you've got a lot going on right now. I mean, you've had quite the summer in NXT, and now as we move into fall, not a new act because it's just a new tag team partner. How are things for you professionally? Because this had to be the most insane just few months of your career.
Yeah, I think the whole of 2020 has been pretty insane for me. I went from, only having a few matches on TV last year to, forming the Way. And then Candice and I started off the year with the Dusty Classic and, winning the tag titles, falling in love, getting married on live TV. And now I'm going into a Scareway to Hell ladder match. So it's been a pretty eventful year, I would say.
So the ladder match is like you're told ladder match, you're doing this on TV live. Have you done a ladder match before?
I've never done a ladder match. The first time I even had a match with weapons was when we had our street fight earlier in the year when Candice and I won the tag title. So I'm very inexperienced with weapons, but thankfully being paired up with Candice for the past year, she's very experienced when it comes to weapons and weapon matches. So hopefully I got some good advice from her.
See, I would have assumed that because you've been in the ring with Shazza McKenzie so much, you just couldn't have helped but to grab a weapon at some point and use it. Like I've just one to assume that.
Yeah, so I've been close to doing that.
I mean, understandable for sure. And you mentioned the wedding. So how did it feel to have to be like the 0.1 percentile of weddings that actually went through as planned in wrestling? Because everybody was expecting the swerve. As it turns out, it was just that it happened and everyone was happy.
Yeah, it's not even just to be in a wedding that, went off without a hitch, but to be in a wrestling wedding, to be in a WWE wedding, which they don't come around too often. And, all the WWE weddings that have happened in the past have gone down in history. So to be a part of that, to be like forever etched in history is a pretty cool feeling. And obviously the fact that it was a successful wedding, which no one expected, it's very, very cool.
The wedding went off as planned, and we got to hear the words from Dexter Lumis. Finally, it built up. And he spoke. Now, it's funny, when I spoke to people in NXT, they said that they were like coming up to you and they were like getting a little like actually emotional over this. And then they're like, wait a second. This is for the show. How did that feel? Because I mean, these people work with you, but I mean, this is I'm sure a fun moment for everybody there.
Well, honestly, like leading up to it, it felt really real because, I had to find a wedding dress and stuff. And I was like, damn, I'm not even really getting married, but yeah, I'm so stressed. It feels like I am. So yeah, I think just a lot of people really enjoy the storyline and got really into it. So that was really cool to see.
It worked out really well. And so many people, it was so positively received. The NXT crowd really loved it as well. and this is you coming off of The Way, which was it was so unlike what we had seen in NXT. It was these people who started off as maybe not so likable, and then by the end, you were happy to see them all as a part of this wedding. Do you remember who first told you you're going to be a part of The Way?
I don't really remember. I know back one of our last shows at Full Sail, we had a battle royal, and I had to save Candice a few times. So I got told then I was going to be put with Candice, but I didn't know really what it was leading to. I didn't know that it was going to be a group. And then we did the bit where I bought them a TV, and
Yes.
I didn't even know that was happening till I was watching the show. So yeah, I didn't really get told. It kind of just came out of nowhere, but I'm so glad that it did. And obviously a lot of people thought that it was kind of a random thrown together group. But as the months went on, I think people started understanding, and yeah, we just became like your average family on TV.
So as Candice gets pregnant, obviously you're happy for her. You're happy for Johnny. You're thrilled for that. Is there any part of you that's like, what am I going to be doing now? Because you all had formed this amazing team, and obviously there were some wheels in motion for the other creative things, but I mean, people were really taking to you and Candice as a team as well.
Yeah, I wish that Candice and I could have, tagged together for longer, but obviously Johnny and Candice starting a family is one of the best things that could ever happen, because I'm getting a little sibling. I wasn't too worried because of the Index storyline. So, we were all going off to do our own things. Austin getting called up to Raw, Candice getting pregnant. I had the stuff with Dexter, and Johnny's always doing something. So yeah. I wasn't too worried, but it was kind of bittersweet to see everyone like kind of split off.
And you mentioned Austin popping up on Raw. You did a couple dark matches for SmackDown in the summer, and that was ahead of the draft. Like, was there any part of you that was like, am I getting drafted? What's going on? Because we did see some of the people that worked in those dark matches ended up getting called up.
I didn't really think I was getting called up because the dark match kind of came out of nowhere. I got told the night before that I had to fly out. And I think it was because someone got injured and I was basically filling in for them. But then one dark match turned into 2 dark matches, which I felt like was a good sign. And I got really good feedback, had an amazing experience there. I left both of those matches feeling really good. So hopefully when the time comes for me to get called up, I'm well prepared for it.
I'm always fascinated by this, and I ask NXT wrestlers, especially ones that have worked those. Did you get any FaceTime with Vince McMahon? I mean, I know that he's usually very, very busy during those shows.
I did not.
So, I mean, was part of you wondering if you would before then? Because, I mean, he can be an intimidating guy. People who have known him a long time are like, oh, it's second nature. But for those who haven't had that before, it can be intimidating for them.
Yeah, for sure. I was hoping that it would happen, but unfortunately it wasn't the time for it. So hopefully that'll happen soon.
So this wasn't your first time appearing at like a Raw SmackDown taping. You did Raw last year against Shayna Baszler as well. Please tell me how that came together.
That was a little bit different. It was in a different environment. I think I got texted by Coach Sarah Amato the day before saying, "You're wrestling Shayna tomorrow on Raw." And I was like, oh, okay. So this was when Raw was filming at the Performance Center, empty arena, so no one in the crowd. Great experience working with Shayna and working with producers on the main roster. Good learning experience. Obviously, being in that empty arena environment is very different to what we're used to, wrestling. But yeah, it was a cool experience and a good memory.
And I always hate to ask the dream match question because I think it's so generic, but it's what anytime I say, hey guys, I got questions for Indy Hartwell, like half of them are, who's her dream match? Who does she want to face? All that. Who do you want to face? Who's the one person you look at and you're like, I got to get in the ring with them?
I'm going to have to cheat this answer and say a triple threat match with Sasha and Bayley.
I don't think that's a cheat at all. I think that's completely understandable.
2 for 1, so I don't just have to pick one opponent. But I have a ton of dream matches, and obviously that question comes up a lot. So I think sometimes I give different answers, but
Sure.
today that's my answer.
Because like I'm sure a lot of it's like who you happened to see that past week or something even, and it's like, man, you got to get in the ring with them.
Right.
Going back to the way segments, like they had so much great comedy in those. How much input did you all have on those, or how much did you all kind of have to stick to things? They were so well played, and that was a side of you, like we had seen the comedic side, but we had seen it with this group of people. We hadn't necessarily seen so much of it out of Dexter yet, and it really shined through as well. How much input did you all have on those?
We actually had a lot of input, and I think that is thanks to Johnny, because Johnny is so, well liked and very, very trusted backstage with all the writers and producers. So I think the first skit that I filmed with The Way was the Christmas special last year, and that was my first time doing a skit with Johnny and Candace, and I was very surprised to see that there was no script, and basically we just sat down by the Christmas tree and we're like, I'll say this, you say this. There was an outline, but there was never a script. So each time we did these skits, they were just so fun, and I'm really going to miss doing those skits with The Way. Even with, it gave me the opportunity to show my personality. Same with Austin, and then same with Dexter. Even though maybe you don't think Dexter has a personality, those eyes say a lot.
Yes, absolutely. A reminder, guys. You can see Indy in action with Persia against Toxic Attraction and Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. The triple threat Scareway to Hell ladder match on NXT Tuesday at 8 p.m. Indy, thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course.
Till next
Thank
time,
you.
guys. We're out.